Hi team, another week with Khalia. So that is a 10 moment for us to get to just connect and share. So Khalia, tell us a 10 moment from your week.
Wow. I've had a lot this week.
Oh,
I'm
tell us
feeling
all of them.
very,
We love catching up on the
yeah,
10s.
I'm feeling grateful to just like be here. I think I've been like a broken record, I feel like, but my two roommates both have their boyfriends here. So I've had some time to just like really check in with myself, take myself to the beach, go on a little date with myself. Um, and then also like after I have that alone time, it just gives me like so much energy and positivity to like be with them, I guess. So that's been like really good. Last night I was like really not wanting to like go out to this little like bar lounge in San Juan, but I ended up going and like having such a great time. So
Aw.
yeah, there's just been so many tens this week for me.
So what do you want to name your collection of 10s?
I feel like I should name them all the bright places. um, even though the movie was, I watched that movie. Me and
Right.
Carlette have talked about it, All the Bright Places on Netflix, and it was sad, but I do think I took the positivity from it, the 10. Um, and it's just kind of been my theme. And there's also a part in the movie where he kind of writes down the thoughts going on in his head. So me and Carlette had the idea to write down our 10 moments. And I just feel like that's like my little theme for this week, the bright places.
Well, I love it. And I love that you and I both ordered Post-its and we're going to start posting all of our 10 moments so that we can have a collection in our room as fun as his room looks. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really just the joy of movies and people and conversations and collecting these fun ideas and, what we want to do with them. So, Clea, let's talk a bit about self-care because what you just described is that beautiful moment when you really value you. And so many times if our friends have partners or there's things going on that we could feel left out of or not so fabulous, it's easy for us to go to a dark space rather than our bright places.
Mm-hmm.
So take us through really how you went from taking great care of yourself and then joining them and being a 10 when you join them versus being like upset that you don't have somebody there or any of that kind of conversation.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some moments I'm feeling sorry for myself. But I think like the other day when I took myself on a walk to the beach, I just woke up really early that day at like 6:30, I think it was. And we had a game later that night. I was like, do I go back to sleep and then eat later? I had just like all these options, it felt like. And it wasn't like anything I was excited about doing. Like,
Right.
as I was getting ready, I wasn't like, yes, I get to go on this walk. I was like, we'll see where this takes me. I don't know. But then like once you're just like out there, I'm like, okay, I'm out here now. So I might as well like pay attention to the good things. I like see my animals on my walk and like stuff like that. And just like discovering, I feel like is the perfect word. Discovering those like 10 moments as they pop up is like really, really good and like healthy for me to do, to try to find the good in whatever. It's definitely easier in a situation like that when I'm on the beach and stuff like that. But I try to take that into volleyball and stuff like that.
Well, we've named this series Finding Joy on the Journey to Competitive Greatness. And so this is such an example because we've named your walks your joy walks. So,
Mhm.
just being able to get up and really set your mindset to choose joy over and also to make it an adventure and discovery. And so many times we can get into the mundaneness of everything and be like, oh my gosh, I've got to have an, I've got to do this today or I've got to. And just changing it from I get to and how can I find joy on it is just such a winning strategy from a mindset perspective. So I also really value what you said about you didn't really weren't excited. It's not like you woke up and you're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah, no.
I'm so excited to go on my joy walk today. It's like, no, it was just you respecting the journey and the process, because we're being intentional about all of our work on, your season in volleyball right now. And so you just having a mindset of gratitude, positivity, joy for your competitive greatness. So we
Mhm.
had a good weekend in terms of a game. You want to share that 10 moment?
Yeah, I just think with volleyball, it's such an adventure. And at the beginning of the season, definitely like was not playing like I wanted to. It wasn't even that. Like I wasn't playing, like you go through ups and downs and the undulations in your game, but like I was at such a down and like hadn't played that bad, I feel like, in a while. So then like this week I had two good games and it just like feels so much better. And I know I shouldn't hold that much importance to it, but I just feel like better about myself too. And like I feel better about the process that I've been like so committed to trying to work through. And I'm proud of myself for that.
Well, victory dance, baby. Woohoo.
Yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
gonna cry. That feels genuine to me.
Yeah. Well, and Clea, I want to respect the process and just respect the emotion, because so many times, you said, I don't want my identity to be all wrapped up in this. I'm going to change the self-talk to, I really want to challenge myself to be great in anything I choose to do. So that to me more is about you taking charge and empowering yourself to go for the greatness that you want, versus feeling like your identity is attached to something that you don't have the power for.
Yeah. And I like had a moment at the beach. I like did a little workshop by myself. You would like this. But I was like picking up such a genuine moment I was having with myself. I was like picking up rocks that I would find on the beach and I was like sitting kind of on this cliff. And like over the water, super pretty, super nice. And I would like pick up a rock and I would be like, this is my self-doubt. And I just throw it into the ocean.
Love it, love it,
And
love it.
yeah, I would like just choose something and then just let it go. And
Yeah.
then just like trying to receive the healing from the ocean and that energy to like also put something in myself instead of just discarding. And I don't know, I just like, it was small and like symbolic maybe, but it made me feel better.
Well, the symbolism is really important. And I want to encourage all of us that are on this journey of finding joy, on the journey to whatever it is that competitive greatness is for us, that it is important to be able to take, like you said, rocks or something that represents how you're feeling, and actually have the power to get rid of it or throw it away or let go of it. So many times people think these things are silly, or but our mind is really visual and it's powerful. And so when you're able to really take something, own it, like own that rock and be like, this is my self-doubt, and then throw it away into the ocean or throw it wherever you want, in terms of it's like empowering you. So love that winning strategy. Well done on that
Thank
little
you.
self-development workshop at the beach.
Yeah, I didn't even know I was doing it, but it was good for me.
So these are the things that we discover when we spend some time, we call it me time, of course, and just either investing that me time in being for us or investing that me time in being against us. And so we have the choice. We wake up and, both of our me's are talking to us. you know, the one that's like, don't do it, or feel sorry for yourself, or I wish life was this way. And then we have the one that chooses to be like, I'm going to find joy today. I'm going to practice gratitude. And so well done just on your journey and really discovering this greatness. So as we give you your power and talk about empowering you and owning your identity versus it being about volleyball or the games, you've been very intentional about changing that things weren't going great for you. I mean, we've done a lot of work. You've been intentional about whatever we talk about, practice, practice, practice. And you've gone into the gym, you've gotten some extra reps in, like you have really engaged in choosing greatness. So I
Mhm.
want to talk about that because a lot of times when we're not being fabulous or things aren't going our way, we can be as if, well, I can't do anything else about it, or I'm afraid to do anything because I don't know what's going to happen. So take us through that process from really doubt to determination.
Yeah, I may cry. um,
We've got you.
it just feels very genuine. Um, I think a lot of the time I like judge myself so much, and I don't give myself the benefit of the doubt that even when I'm like working through things in volleyball or in life, whatever it may be, I'm like, am I even really working? Like, Khalia, are you even really trying? Is this the best you can do? And I think like the past 2 weeks, really, like I've just before that, as you know, we've talked about, I was just kind of like going through some stuff, really doubting myself with like just a lot of different aspects in life, professionally, philanthropically, personally, family wise. And so to just like really buy into like and like really commit, I think, and just like using that language too has just helped me kind of reframe my thinking and like believe in myself a little more.
So tell us about the tears. If your tears could talk, what would they want to tell us today?
Um, I think they're happy tears. No, like I know they're happy tears. It just like sometimes feels so good to oh, sorry. Sometimes it just feels so good to like tell yourself that you're proud and like
Yeah.
to believe it. Um, I don't think I do that a lot. So it kind of like, I don't know, I feel like everyone goes through that thing like with their parents where they're like, oh, I wish they could say that they're proud of me. I never hear that. And then it feels so good when they do that. But I'm like doing it to myself and it
Mm.
really feels even better. um, yeah, it just like recognizing that I'm committed to the process just feels a lot better.
Mm. And Kalia, I just love your heart. Like you're starting to just open your heart and play wholeheartedly versus just playing for the identity of it. I mean, that's what we're getting to be on this beautiful journey with you, is that if we're in a profession where it is about just the wins or the losses or the credit or the money or whatever it is, we can lose hope with it because it doesn't feel like it's really connected to our being, who we really are.
Mm,
And yet we invest so much time in our profession. And to
yeah.
be able to say it doesn't matter, it's like, I would disagree. I think everything matters. I mean, our back to our 24 golden nuggets. I mean, we're choosing to give this money to, or this currency of time, to whoever it is we're investing in. And I'm so proud of you and grateful for you just really embracing your journey and owning it for your own gratitude versus wanting it for other things. So that's
Thank
a
you.
huge win.
Yeah. And like, I just think back to the 24 golden nuggets, like in college, and I've had so many qualms about the NCAA, but like in college, you don't have as much autonomy over like what my golden nuggets are. And then like my golden nuggets start to feel just like tarnished. And I feel like now they're like really golden and I really get to choose. I can choose good or bad,
Mhm.
or towards my goal or away from it is better than good or bad, I guess. But um they just feel like so much more sacred when I'm like
Mhm.
committed to like working towards myself or my sport or just like my family, the things that I care about, spending time with friends and stuff like that is just like, I don't know, I just feel so much more fulfilled
Mm.
in general.
So we're talking about the power of purpose, because when
Mhm.
you feel like you know your why, or you feel like you're really doing it because you believe in it and it aligns with who you are, no matter what the hardship, it feels so different. So let's just talk a bit about that, because I know that you're away from home, you're away
Mhm.
from your partner, you're away from your friends. You do have fabulous roommates and a fabulous team and fabulous coach. You've got some good components, some great components, and you've got some other pieces of you missing. So
Mhm.
how are you really maximizing this season and these 24 golden nuggets to not be about what you don't have, but to be focused on what you can do with it?
Yeah. Sitting here talking to you is definitely like the good side of things because like I think my partner, like my boyfriend definitely gets the bad side of things because I don't know, like I feel lonely sometimes once again watching my roommates with their boyfriends and I like I don't know, I feel mad at my boyfriend who's stuck in Italy and I shouldn't. Like there's literal legal laws that he cannot be here right now
He
because of
is not
Corona.
choosing to not be there. Yes. And
Yeah, yeah.
it still doesn't
Um,
make your heart feel any different, though. I mean, this is just the
it
power
doesn't.
of love and belonging and wanting.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just tried taking talking to myself. I like when I was on the beach, I truly like in my head, I'm like, okay, Khalia, how are you? And I like have myself answer, go through it. Like I would like talk to you or McKenna or one of my friends, whatever it may be. And I think checking in with myself and like realizing, oh, like I am feeling a little anxious and this may turn into some anger later. Or like, I don't know what it is, but just having that emotional intelligence, I guess, is what it is to check in with myself makes me better for other people.
Mm.
And I don't know, just being honest with my partner that I am struggling and this just may be a time that I need more support. Like we talked about in week 1 or 2, just asking for what you want and like setting them up for success.
So we're talking about competitive greatness as you just described it, because our formula for competitive greatness is truth, faith, and love. So you just started with that truth component of you really starting with owning your truth and being truthful about how you're feeling, being truthful about expressing it. What's really interesting about the truth component is that it doesn't have to be attached to blame. Right? So it's
Mhm.
like you're not blaming him for your loneliness or blaming him for anything. A lot of times we want to, just because we feel powerless, and it's like this feels terrible. So it's like the people that we love, we can lash out, we can be not so fabulous to the people that mean the very, very most to us.
Mhm.
And so, but it's that real feeling of my truth is something that I don't really like. Like I don't want to not be here without you, you know? And so really being able to own our truth, then we step into faith. You having
Mhm.
faith in the process, faith in yourself, really, having your mind anchor in the fact that this isn't his choice, right? All those kind of conversations, and then just going to the power of love. So let's move into that, because that's my all-time favorite conversation, to talk about just the power of love. So what have you discovered about yourself and your self-love and just being able to love others from you honoring you and things you need and the time you need?
Yeah. I think from all my trials and tribulations throughout the year and my uh performance barriers in college and the opportunities for growth that I had. Um, I think like this is going to be like a little Khalia rant, but I think like the media and just I don't know, the world kind of sells this picture that like love is this like fairy tale and it's this beautiful romantic passionate thing that like you just stumble on and it's once in a lifetime and you're swept off your feet. But I think from like seeing going to therapy, seeing so many different types of people who are struggling and how love transforms them, it's like so much smaller than that.
Mm.
Um I don't know, for me, it's just like the everyday conversations that we have, like with our teammates, and just checking in and trying to like reduce people's suffering just a little is just like, for me, just like the most authentic form of love. And I shared this article with Carlette about trees because we went to Hawaii together and we're just like amazed by how grandiose these trees were. And in this article, it talks about just like feelings of awe, and like if you just, once again, like love the trees, I'm just going to show them love, and that makes me a better person, like literally scientifically. Releasing endorphins in the brain, and me feeling supported and loved by something like a tree can like truly make me a better person, and that's just like so special and amazing to me.
Well, and love is so much about connectivity, being connected to ourself, connected to our heart. Whenever we get hurt, we can really disconnect from our heart, the most powerful component of love, and be like, I never want to feel this way again. Or instead, it's like the more that it hurts, the more that it meant to you, and the power
Yeah.
of love, and really honoring that. And so let's just explore the college side of things, because we're all about giving hope, right? That part, this is your sports philanthropy. You and I are committed to giving hope to people. That's what we love to do. We really feel passionate about the people that don't have access to coaching or going to a therapist. Not that this replaces any of it. It's just a conversation to connect and really hear that we are all in this together, that we all go through good and bad and not so fabulous and great tens and joy. And it's all in the moments. It's all in the little bitty moments and the connectivity. And so when you think about being in college, and I know we have lots of film on that, you and I've been on a journey for a long time. So
Yeah.
how do you want to give hope? The college season is starting, and we've got lots of college athletes getting back and really going into their new season. Based on where you are now, what would you have wanted to tell your college Khalia?
Wow. It'll be worth it.
Mm.
um, I, for all my college girlies and boys out there watching, it's hard, and I know it is hard. It's really a struggle, and all these different things are thrown at you as you're trying to figure out who you are yourself. Um, and it can just be so turbulent, and you feel like unsupported at times, and there's like a really ugly side, but also like take the time to find the 10 moments, I would say. You'll meet a lot of people that, because you're going through those hard times, like they're just like light, and like
Mm.
try to be attracted to that, try to go to that, say yes to a lot of things. Sometimes they're not all good ideas, but you'll learn from you'll learn from them. And like, I wouldn't wish my college experience upon anyone else. It was really hard, but it made me the person I am today, and I'm extremely thankful for that. And I think a lot of the girls, this is like my own personal experience, a lot of the girls who were having such a hard time in college had to start asking really deep, reflective questions about their life. And even though college was hard, it's made us better people. I think McKenna went through some things, I went through some things, all the people in our friend group kind of did, but we really did grow through it together. And it was hard, but it made us who we are. And I wouldn't change the friends I have. I wouldn't change who I am for anything. So,
All part of that journey, right? I mean, that's the beautiful
yeah.
part, to really respect that college is a season in time, that you're really developing who you are. How would you want to inspire and encourage them to be authentic to their self, and also really respect teammates and coaches and all the demands, because that's a lot to manage.
Yeah. I think being authentic with yourself, I wish like a strategy I would have learned a little earlier is just checking in with myself. Even now, it's something I don't do enough, but I think that's like part of the tears. Like, it just does feel like so good to I don't know, just like really talk with yourself. And I know it sounds like taboo, and it was like weird at first because I had watched a YouTube video, I think, of someone talking about how she has conversations with herself, and just sitting down and being like, okay, Khalia, how are you? And I like take the time to respond to myself. And then I'm like, okay, why do you feel that way? I'm like, good question, Khalia, I'll tell you. But just like simple stuff like that does seem kind of weird, but it just really does help. And McKenna today actually was talking about emotional intelligence and how that now more than IQ is a sign of success. Um, and I think to just start kind of facilitating that relationship with yourself at an early age, if you're in college, is super important. Super important. And
Well,
then like that allows you to say yes and no to coaches, teammates, stuff like that.
in a
Bringing that all.
respectful, honoring way of, yeah. So what I hear is that caring is number one. Care about yourself so that you can care about other people. So many times we're like, oh, I'm going to be so fabulous, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to, say yes to everybody in terms of what they need, just so that people will like me, and all of those
Mm-hmm.
components. And really starting with caring about ourselves, what matters to me today, what's important to me, how do I want to invest my 24 golden nuggets, how do I want to show up as a teammate, how do I want to show up as a friend. All of these just internal dialogues and checkpoints are balancing you and aligning you with the authentic self, like you just being able to say, how this is who I stand for, this is what's important to me. And so as you watch your film, what words of wisdom would you say that you wish you would have known, or something that you would have done different? We know that all of it's been perfect in terms of it's gotten you to where you are. We also have the gift of being able to help people before they do some of the things that we've all done, and say, learn everybody deserves their own journey. So, that's
Yeah.
really, really important. But what gifts can you give from your journey?
Hmm. Um, I don't know. I think like the gift that I like to offer a lot is just like myself, my if anyone needs to talk, I would love to connect. Write me on Instagram, tell me about your struggles. I'm not a life coach, but I don't know. I just think there's something powerful about being vulnerable with people. And that's why I love talking with you, whether it's recorded or not, but just like giving that hope that you talk about. And like the philanthropical side doesn't have to be always donating money or stuff, but like the most valuable thing that you have is your time. And I do think just taking the extra moment to like going back to love, check in on people is really like amazing, and like gives hope that, and trust me, I can tell my story. I'll go into detail. It has not been it has not been pretty, but I've messed up a lot. But I try to learn my lesson. It may take me a couple times, but
That's just your human journey, right? Human to human, just really figuring this out and owning it. That's when
mhm.
the learning happens, is when you can own it.
Yeah, I think I'm starting to own it, and that's what feels better than just kind of stumbling through it and not knowing who to blame.
So, Kalia, do you want to share any part of your story or anything that's important to you as you've processed and really started to own just who you are and what's of value to you?
Oh gosh, what part?
Or not,
What
it's
part?
totally your
I
story. So,
know. Um, yeah, I don't know. Just like once again, college was like so hard for me. I think you go through so many things with relationships between other teams, and you like trying to stand by the people on your team, that type of drama, relationship with boys, with girls, is hard. And then I think like for me, like if things were not good, like with my family life, that was kind of a lot of the times what I anchor into. So if my family life wasn't doing good, then I was like really a mess. Or if I felt like I wasn't supported or didn't have like my friends around me, that was really hard for me too. And there was just like there was a point where I just felt so hopeless. And that's like the part that I don't wish upon anyone. And yeah, like definitely dabbled with some suicide and depression and anxiety and all those things that are like so scary for like a young girl to be going through. But once again, I'm still here somehow. A lot of the times I'm like, I don't know how I survived those years or why. But I don't know. I think it talks to like the greater purpose that you have, and my story of trying to give hope, and all ties in to like the person I am now.
So beautiful. And so family is important. Our support, family, friends, that support system. What would you want parents to know, or what do you wish you could have articulated in college, right? Because it's hard when you go to college because you're used to a very strong support system, and then you come to college and all of a sudden you're on your own, and and it's hard for the parents left behind as well because they're used to doing things. So it's a time of great confusion on everybody's roles and everybody's way of how to be supportive, how to let go, how to honor all of those things. So words of wisdom.
I think asking questions, that's kind of like been my another kind of theme in my life the past couple weeks. I think like asking questions, the more that I think about it, is just like so powerful. It gives the other person a chance to like open up, one. Two, like you can ask questions instead of like stating statements to like kind of navigate people somewhere. Like, for example, I was talking to you about having conversations with my partner, like when I'm struggling or being vulnerable, and instead of him being like, you should do this, I think it's easier to take when someone's like, well, how does this feel for you? Like just that slight little alteration just really helps me, for example, open up. And there's actually our neighbors here in Puerto Rico have just like the most loving, amazing familial relationships with each other. And I was asking the mom, like, how do you cultivate that? Like, it's just so amazing to see her and her daughters interact. And she was like, I just ask them. I ask them how I can be a better mom. I ask them if they feel supported, if they need something. And I was like, that's something so simple that I don't think a lot of parents do at all. But I think that would be really helpful.
Well, so we've gone from the value of caring to now connecting and being curious versus judgmental or fixing. Like none of us are broken, right? Like, I mean, we are all on this beautiful journey. So instead of any of our conversation being about how we're going to make it right or fix it, or it's more, how can we learn from this? I'm curious about how you feel about this, or tell me more about what's happening. So it really comes from a place of open heart to open communication versus it being any kind of a negative, or or certainly keeping it between the two of us talking rather than talking about other people or bringing in any kind of negativity. Just really starting with those, hey, did you have any 10 moments? What matters to you? That's what 10 moments are. They're just what matters to you. So really fun from that perspective to get to have a conversation from the heart versus so much from maybe just the fixing component.
Yeah, I completely agree. And that, like, to me is love. I don't know. I just think it's that simple.
Beautiful. Well, team, you have had a fabulous conversation with Khalia, just sharing her heart and sharing her journey. And Khalia, thank you so much for giving hope. That is our desired outcome. We just want people to understand the power of story, the power of purpose, the power of love, so much about honoring who we are. So we'll talk next week. Thank you for just another fabulous conversation.
Thank you for having me, Carlette. This was a 10.
Okay, team, it's up to you. Go out and be a champion for you. Get to know you, have some conversations with yourself, care about you, connect with yourself, and connect to the people that you love. And remember just the power of love.